So, on to the ports that hang on. The ports that I own. I only have a few of them. I have the classic Hang On Safari Hunt. I believe this one was a pack-in at one point for the Master System. And then there's also the special Hang On, or not special, but singular Hang On. And then the Mark III version, which the Mark III version is cool because it actually has this peripheral, which I want to demo and we'll show off later. The Mark III, for those who don't know, is a card-based system. It has cartridges too, so it's kind of like, it's exactly like the Master System, but there were cards, so they were the Sega My cards. This one happens to be on a card. So in the past I have run into issues with the My cards. I have yet to test this one, so we'll test it together. See how that works. It was kind of a disappointment the first time I tried this. I got everything hooked up. I had just gotten my SG 3000, my Mark III, and got everything hooked up, plugged this thing in, put my original card of Hang On in, and nothing worked. Didn't work. So I had to wait and get a new one. And in that time, you know, things happened and I never hooked up my Mark III again. So I kind of have to get back to that. But I will. So just to show off this little sweet piece of kit, basically it's just a controller that gives you the arcade experience. Taking this out. Alright. Put this over here. So, as you can see, you know, you've got this, you've got your two buttons, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used it yet, but I can already tell, you know, I mean, I won't judge it before I use it. I'll use it first before I judge it. First impression is the same as my initial first impression is, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's cool. It's a neat little toy. I mean, I'll let you take a look at what I'm seeing. You know, you can rotate. It doesn't have much of like a clicking motion, so I'm not really sure. If I remember properly, the Master System and SG 1000 versions of this game, there's like a lean function where you kind of have 3 degrees of lean, and you have to hit the button to lean in harder. So I'm wondering how this is gonna work. I mean, it's cool. It's got the gears, which weren't actually a thing in the arcade game, at least not the standard, the upright that I have. I believe there were some foot pedals on the deluxe. Now, I've never ridden a deluxe or used a deluxe, so I'm not really sure what the foot pedals do, but I'd imagine foot pedals on a motorcycle changing the gears. So, you know, that's more than likely what that is. So, but anyway, just looking over. You know, I picked this up way before I got the arcade machine, so this was my arcade fix, but I kind of ran into problems with it, and when I felt it, I just wasn't too happy with it. I mean, it's more the quality of like a Fisher Price toy than like a nice video game peripheral, but I'm looking at this from, you know, modern perspective, whereas, you know, getting anything like this in the 80s would have probably been pretty cool. I'm not even sure if Atari made peripherals anything similar to a bike handle. I doubt it. I'd say that this is pretty unique. So, you know, in that regard, it is pretty cool. So other ports include the MSX computer and the PC 8800 computer. Those are two systems I know got releases. Now, there could be other 8-bit machines that got ports of Hang On that I don't know of. The information was kind of scarce online, and these are all the ones that I've definitely played. So, you know, if there are ones that I've forgotten or didn't know about, you know, feel free to let me know. Another one is the Yu Suzuki book. I believe I mentioned this earlier. In this book, it's all in Japanese, but it's pretty cool. You can, you know, translate it. It's a rough translation at best, but it gives you an idea of what he was talking about, or what they're talking about in the book. But anyway, the book comes with a CD, which has a Dreamcast, which is a Dreamcast game, and on the CD, it has all the AM2 games. So it has Power Drift, Afterburner 2, Power Drift, Afterburner 2, Outrun, Hang On. I think that's it. Space Harrier. Huh. Can't forget about Space Harrier. Another classic. So yeah, it has all 5. Because all 5 were in Shenmue, except for Power Drift. I don't believe that was in there. Shenmue 1 or 2, that is. Yeah. So, you know, this is, I got this a couple years back, or geez, well, might have been 10 years ago at this point. But I'm sure this is still out there. I don't know how expensive it is anymore. This is a great way to play these games if you have a Dreamcast. Now, I'm sure there are more modern options. Well, there definitely are more modern options for games like Outrun. For Hang On, though, I don't know if there are more modern options. In my brief looking up ports, I did see some mention of a Windows 10 or an Xbox edition But that Xbox edition could very well, and Windows 10 could very well just be the Shenmue ports of the game. I'm not sure what the extras are like in the remaster of Shenmue 1 and 2, their re-release for Xbox One and PS4. While I have it, I haven't played it as much, because whenever I boot that one up, I just gotta go back to the Dreamcast or the Xbox. So, but anyway, that's another story for a different time. But yeah, Hang On, really popular when it came out, ported to like everything in the 8-bit era, and then it kind of, disappeared a little bit. Super Hang On has a lot of ports, but it's kind of a shame. Kind of a shame. Good game, really good game. I don't think 8-bit really does it justice, but it's still enjoyable. So. Damn. Not even close. Not even close. Alright, so back to some ports. We're going to be trying out Hang On Safari Hunt. Now, I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this one. The combo cartridge. Believe it was a pack-in. Sure somebody will correct me if I was wrong about that. But Hang On Safari Hunt. We'll try popping in the regular Hang On shortly after. See how that goes. Oh yeah, Sega Master System. To start Hang On, push the right side button of the control pad. Let's see how this stacks up. Start. Probably got to shift. So you have to push down to shift. Okay, not bad. This is not bad. This definitely feels better than the PC-88. Actually, I forgot about this. So you have to steer like that, or else you'll accidentally shift. And another thing about these 8-bit ports, no collisions. I mean, for obvious reasons, but I mean, I suck at this. There we go. Hit again. Yeah, so that's tough. Let's stop this one. Put it back in the case where it belongs. And get this one. So this is just hang on. I mean, it's a little bit rarer, but it's just regular old hang on. It's got a picture of Freddie Spencer on the cover. Freddie Spencer was actually one of the inspirations for the game. He was a really, really excellent GP rider in the 80s. He did a lot of really cutting-edge techniques like drifting the motorcycle and stuff like that. Stuff that you see in the game. And they actually brought him over to Japan and interviewed him. You talks about it in the book. I actually translated parts of it and was able to gain some of that information. Now, I would like to be able to read this and actually understand it a little bit better one day, but Google Translate will do for now. So, the Freddie Spencer cover. I mean, way cooler cover. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's kind of cool, but I never played Safari Hunt, so I was always a hang-on guy. So, you know, you got a manual, you got a nice Master System cartridge. Start her up. So it's literally the same game. I mean, you're getting the exact same game. Exact same thing. Which makes sense. I mean, it's the same console. I mean, I could see putting this as a pack-in would make a lot of sense because given the popularity in the arcade, you know, it would make sense that, you know, the most popular arcade game of 1985 would be a pack-in in a system from the next year. But I could be wrong about that, but I seem to remember it did come with the Master System. I have to do some research on the bundles. I'm getting better. No more accidental shifts. I think I'm about to hit... Yeah. Look at that. Look at that consistency. Oh, man. I feel like this should be yellow. It's definitely, very green. And you gotta watch out too, because when you're speeding up and you start steering with the down button, you shift down and then you drive slow. It's a real balancing act, this game. So they captured some of the elements, I think. But, you know, obviously with most ports of those of the time, with some exceptions. I mean, there are some excellent arcade ports for 8-bit systems, but Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, gosh. I mean, this game's got some charm. I mean, it's still here. It's still hang on. Definitely plays a little bit faster than the PC-88 version. That one was like... the frame rate was definitely very slow on that one. This one at least feels like you're getting some speed when you're at top. Oh man, and the course track definitely narrows just like the arcade. So all in all, you know, this is good. I wouldn't be upset with this if it was all I had in 1986. I mean, this was all I had for a little bit, and you know, it's not hang on the arcade, and it's not the Dreamcast version, but it's still good. It's still pretty good. So I like that one. Now let's try this with the controller and see how that goes.